Hey guys, so if you haven't already read the title, I'm going to be talking about how I met Aaron Carpenter's mom, and kind of dead. I went to DigiTour with my best friend Salma, and basically, like, before we walked in, we took pictures out front because, like, this is really exciting. Like, this is the first time we're getting to see these people, like, live, because a lot of people there have, like, seen them either, like, on a different tour, or a different concert, or, like, saw them out in public, or went to a signing, but, like, I've done anything like that. All I've seen is them on a screen. I've never seen them in, like, person or live or anything, and so I was, like, really excited. Like, she was excited, too, just I was so excited. I can't even explain how excited I was. And we weren't even gonna meet them. It was just the fact that seeing them was just. Anyway, so right as we walked in, our parents were like, "Do you guys want to get your t-shirts now or like later?" And so we're like, "Now." And so we went up to the stand. And we were looking at all the t-shirts, and so I was looking at them, and I thought they were pretty cute. But I thought Aaron Carpenter's t-shirt, like his merch, was like the coolest, so I wanted to get his shirt. And so I got. I don't know where it went, but it was the one that had like the A and the C on it, and then it had like the red sleeves. It was kind of like a baseball tee. I got that one, and of course Salma did too, and we put them all over our shirts, and we walked in, and like we thought it was like seats, so we actually went up to like the security guard. We were like, "Where are these seats?" Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, "Oh, it's just first come first serve." So we went up to the front, and it was kind of hard to see. There were so many girls that were already there, and they were all like in front of us, and it was kind of hard to see. And we were like on our tippy toes trying to look at the stage. Like, I couldn't really see the stage, but I knew that like once they got out, it would be a little easier to see them since they'd be like standing. Anyway, so then the show was starting, and I was freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh! And then like we were like freaking out. And like we were like, who's gonna be first? And we were trying to like name the people that were gonna like come after each other. And so I was like, I wonder who's gonna be first, and then like the lights got all dim, and then like they were playing this like awesome music, and it was like some guy's voice. I don't know who it was. It was like an announcer voice, and he's just like, it was the night before Christmas. It was the night before DigiTour, and all through the stage, something like that. It was really cool. I'll put some of the pictures that we got up after this, but anyway, so we were standing after they did that. They were like, "You guys ready to get started?" And so the first person to come out was Aaron, and I was freaking out because, like, you know, Aaron was part of MadCon. He was like a big part of like a lot of things, and I was freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, this is Aaron Carpenter, like right there, like in real life, he's like, right there. And he started singing, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's singing. Like, I didn't know he sang anything, and it was beautiful. Like, he has an amazing voice. And I was like, I was literally like almost in tears because I'd never seen these people live before, and it was just crazy. And so I turned to Salma, we're like jamming out to his songs, and then all of a sudden, like, I turned around and I saw like this lady, and she had like a VIP, like, all access, like, thing around her neck, and I was like, who are you? Like, she kind of looked weird. Like, I felt like she was like one of the parents, but then I was like, maybe she's just like one of the photographers. I don't know. And so then she came over to us, and she's just like, "Hey, can I take a picture of you girls?" And I was like, we're like, yeah, sure. And so she took a picture of us because we were both wearing Aaron's stuff. She gave us her phone. She went up to us, and she was like typing something, and she was like, "Is it okay if I put this on Twitter?" We're like, yeah, sure, of course. Put it all over Twitter if you want. And she's just like, so here, you put your Twitters in. And so she gave us her phone and had like the notes thing on, and we put our Twitters in. And we typed our Twitter names in, and so we gave her the phone back. And then but like as we were each typing, she was like, yeah, this is Aaron's like first show singing, blah blah blah. We're like, oh really? That's cool. And then like she's like, yeah. And then after we typed in and gave her the phone back, she's like, thank you. And she walked away, and I turned to Salma, and I'm like, that was Aaron's mom. Like, I just knew that it was his mom. And there was like some other guy standing behind her, but I think that was his dad too. And I was like, oh, that must be Aaron's mom. Like, I was freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is his parents. We met his parents. It was freaking awesome. And so then we turned back around, we were listening to music, but like I couldn't get over the fact that like I just met his parents. Like that was pretty crazy. But anyway, we put our phones like away besides like taking pictures and stuff because we didn't want to be like, thinking that we'd probably get notifications. So we wanted to like turn our notifications off so it wouldn't bug us and take pictures and stuff. So we were taking pictures, and then after he was done, I think it was a magician guy, like some magician I've never heard of came out. And then after that, Ricky Dillon came out. Like I was super excited to see Ricky Dillon. Like I freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh, you're Ricky Dillon. Oh my lord. Like he came out in person and I started crying. I'm not gonna lie, I started crying because I'm like, he's part of O2L. Like literally, he was the first person I started watching in O2L. And this is my favorite part of the entire thing. So basically, it was like towards the end of the show, and Sammy Will came out with Skate, and so they were doing a duet, and they were like singing, and they were like shirtless, and like it was amazing. But I had this feeling beforehand, like before the show started, that like maybe Jack Alinsky and Jack Johnson would come out, because like Salma was like obsessed with them. Like literally, Jack Alinsky is her like one love out of everyone on like DigiTour. Anything, any tour you think of, he's her number one. And like I kept telling him, like, maybe Jack will come. I have a feeling he's gonna be there. Like I kept telling her that. Anyway, so they were singing, and then all of a sudden, like I look to the side and I see Jack Alinsky kind of come out a little bit, and he's like saying hi to the people on the side. I saw him come out with Jack Johnson, and I literally screamed my brains out at Salma. I was like, oh my god, Jack Alinsky's there! Oh my god! I was pointing and screaming, and like I didn't even get to really see him because I was like screaming at her so she can see him because she loves him and I wanted her to see him. And so all I see is her go like, what? And because I'm shaking her, and she like turns and then looks over to the side of the stage and she sees him, and I just look at her facial expression, and she goes from like a hyper like she goes from being hyper to just stopping and staring at him. And all of a sudden she started crying, and it was the cutest thing ever. I wish I can get a picture of it, but she saw Jack and just started crying, and she's like, oh my god, and she hugged me, and like she cried it out. Some people around us were like looking at her weird, and like it was just them there, and it was just the cutest thing. And then a few minutes later, they actually came on stage. Like somebody brought them on stage, or they got pulled onto stage, and so Jack was like singing with them and jumping up and down, and Salma was crying again, and I was laughing. It was just a really good time. But yeah, that was like one of my favorite parts of it, like of everything. That was pretty awesome. About like a little over halfway through the show, I turned around. Like I was looking around me every now and then just to see, and so I turned around, and there's this really hot guy standing there dancing to Kenny Holland. And so I was kind of just like, why is there a hot guy here? This doesn't make sense. And so I turned to Salma and I go, dude, there's a hot guy over there. Why is he over there? And so she turns around and sees him and she goes, damn. And I'm like, yeah. And so then a few minutes later I turned back around and a bunch of people are taking pictures with him and this other guy. I'm like, who are you guys? Like, I didn't know you guys were like famous. And I'm like, you want to take a picture with them? And she's just like, yeah, if you want to. But then I was like, I don't want to lose our spots though, because we weren't in good spots, but like we couldn't. I didn't want to like give them up. And so like, towards the end of the show, we went up to this guy and we just automatically just took pictures with him without even knowing who he was. And so now I know who he is. His name's Jordan Doe. If you want to look up his YouTube, go ahead. He's really cool. But yeah, we just took pictures with him, and I'll put the pictures at the end. And so that was my DigiTour experience, and it was pretty amazing. And I'm so excited because next thing I'm gonna be doing that's pretty big is going to VidCon in July, and I'm excited for that. I'm really excited for that actually. If I get to meet Tyler Oakley, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but if you want me to make a video about like what happens at VidCon, I will. And also, I might meet Taylor Kniff when he comes to San Diego for his RV project. That'd be pretty awesome too. I mean, I've heard that he's a lot shorter in person, but you know, whatever. I'll make a video on that too if you guys want me to. Just yeah, that was my DigiTour experience. Thank you for watching, and I hope this wasn't too boring for you. Bye.